Good morning, beekeepers. Today we're going to go into the hive that keeps trying to produce queen cells again. Then I'm going to do my regular inspections on all of them. But first I wanted to show you the ground cover out here that is a natural growth. And right now there's not much foraging out there, but the bees love this stuff. It's a weed by any other means is food for another. But the honeybees are all over this stuff. And it's all over my yard. I've got probably 3/4 of an acre of it. All right. Now, this is my first time into the hives in October. And the goal is to find the queen, get rid of any supersedure cells again. And since it's October, the goal from now on is to make sure that they have food and we don't have any pests that are taking over. We're not worried about growth. They'll start kicking out drones pretty soon. Okay. Nice money. Yeah, 5/4 ideal. I think I watch out for the time you're also is bees, right? So you kind of do this with me. Lots of source. I need that from there. It's not good to from there. Then I get in the spring. After the spring. Because this is the bird box. And we want lots of bees. That's about 3 times honey. 4 frames of honey. And we have our first queen cup. There's second queen cup. This time they're not charged. Which means there's no larva. No, they haven't started queen. Mostly honey. Mostly honey. It's all honey. Just move the field. Again, mostly honey. Let's get a lot of nectar in it. So far, no queen cells. There's a real line. We have nectar and pollen. Oh, that one we got nothing. Same on this one. Okay. So we had 2 queen cups. And we've got ample food stores. Now what I'll do, probably within the next week, is I'll start feeding them sugar water to keep them active and keep the queen laying. It's not to build up food stores, but it's to keep them from eating up the existing food stores. Because you don't want them eating everything out of the kitchen until like January or February. Because you don't want them to run out of food. Since it's robin season, cover them up a little bit, kind of keep down the possibility of robbing going on. Okay, empty frame. They're kind of fidgety. This time of year is when you definitely want to be wearing your full suit because they're not as pleasant to deal with. There's nothing there. They're putting up a little nectar there. Yeah, they're a little more flighty today than usual. Okay, we've got 2 queen cups in the middle. But they're both empty. No big deal. They're putting nectar around the border. Yeah, got lots of larvae in this one. So the queen's still going good. My girls love to purplize everything really well. Okay. Good brood pattern. Well, kind of spotty, but it's capped brood and they've been emerging. Queen cell. You can tell by the larva, she's been there for a while. That could have been a, no. They're still trying to replace the queen. Nope. Even though they've got a good laying queen. Don't understand it. But they're going to do what they want to do. For some reason, they think they need to replace this queen. Look at that. Lots of brood. And lots of larvae all the way around the brood. Capped brood. There's nothing. We've got several hive beetles. Yeah, lots of brood. And a lot of milk brood about to be capped here. And I found a cup. Not charged. Almost done. All right, a little bit of capped. Empty cells. Okay, so we're in good shape. We had one queen cell that was a week away from being done. Had a few cups that had nothing in it, so this week they have calmed down quite a bit. They only have one queen cell instead of several. This is definitely the time of year that you need to work on making sure there's no cracks. If you got boards that are separated, you need to get them filled. Take care of your woodenware, because all those openings this time of year especially are an open invitation for robbers to come in and steal your hive blind. Also, because it's harvest season, mice are going to be running out of the field, so you need to have a mouse guard on at least. Right now you might be best with a robber screen. It has a very small hole that redirects the bees, keeps them from coming in and robbing your hive. All of my woodenware is fairly new, and over the year I've replaced boxes that had broke out spots and holes and stuff like that. I tried a few because some of my hives were given to me by a friend of mine, and they were his scrap pile that Swarm had moved into. So they were all not just bad boxes, they were a lot of really nasty bad comb. And I'm slowly getting all that cycled out too. These are some of my wax dipped boxes that I'm running through the winter. I've got all of them out exposed to the weather to see how they survive the winter. If you haven't seen it before, Swiffer sheets are worth a fortune for beetle control. There we go. There are beetles on that. There's a lot of beetles. So it does work. I need some more towels, but I don't have any right at the moment. Now all those that fly are foragers. So the more that fly off, the less you got to deal with. They come back in the bottom. All right, let me get my stand set up. And it is capped honey. This is one of my older hives, so it's got a lot more of everything. A lot more honey. See, that's what we got to look for, is pests and food. And of course, make sure that there's still queens still laying. Okay. Some honey around the edges. They're still putting nectar in it. So there's still nectar to be had. I think most of the crepe myrtles are still blooming. Mine aren't. I don't have many and they're new, so they don't have the root base to keep them going all year. That's interesting. I have a hive beetle on the inside of my veil. All right, let's get this one done. All right, fairly newly capped brood. Some more capped brood. It's already in the 80s, and that's why the propolis is so sticky. Oh yeah. Lots of brood. Both sides. A lot of clean cells. Seen a couple of larvae, but not much. Not enough. All right, there I have, I know you can't see it, a sheet of a brand new larva. Quite a bit on the other side. I have a dozen queen cups. I'm not too sure that they have any intentions. But that's too many queen cups to make me happy. I'm gonna tear them all out. Yeah, none of those were charged. They were pretty old, but lots of larvae. Now, as the temperatures start to drop, you need to do a very quick inspection. If it's below 50, you don't want to mess with going into the hive. So once the daytime temps are below 50, you don't want to be opening it up like this. You can open it up quickly and look. Don't pull the frames because you chill the brood and it's all dead and you're going to be in trouble. I got lots of brood, both sides. There's no eggs in this one, no larvae, but I did have a whole sheet, and they will quit making as many. She'll cut back on her laying quite a bit, so you just can't be concerned with that yet. So I'm really all I need to do here. I've already seen she's laying good. They have lots of resources. You won't get out of my way. They never do. Most of the time you can touch them and they'll move. Sometimes they're as determined as you are. Just carefully move them over two at a time. It's about all I can push with all this propolis. Thought I saw the queen, but it was just another worker. Come on, guys. Oops. All right. I'm going to put back my Swiffer sheet. Even though it's pretty covered up, it still catch them. I'll lay it in the top, make sure it's not covering one of my feeding holes, because I only feed with one jar. Okay, my empty box to hold the jar. And the cover. All right. Now we get to move on to the other side. I just wanted to stop for a minute before I went to the other side and did the inspections over there and talk a minute. It's the 1st of October, and in northeast Arkansas, that means weather's fixing to start cooling off. There's not going to be as much forage. Forage is going to be disappearing pretty quickly, which means you're going to have to start feeding your bees, which also means that they're going to be a little feistier. You're probably going to slow down your inspections once every couple of weeks. Make sure you got bees going. Quickly see if you can find any capped brood, larvae, but just quickly move through your hive. But you're going to have to start feeding them, because if there's nothing for them to gather, then that means they're going to start eating the stores out of your boxes. And they can eat a lot of food in just a couple of months. So if you don't start feeding them now, they'll run out of food stores in January, and then you'll open your boxes in February or March, and you'll find all your bees dead. So we don't want that. We want to keep the queen producing, which is why we feed 1-to-1 sugar water here in northeast Arkansas. Keeps her brooding, keeps her producing bees. If we're lucky and we stay in the 30s all winter long, then we'll come into the spring ready to either do splits or nuke boxes or something along those lines. We'll have lots of bees. They will be ready to go as soon as things start blooming. And that's usually in early March around here. So just got to prepare for that. The bees are kind of feisty because there's no food to get out in the field. So be prepared, full suit. Take your time, but yet you got to do it fast to keep the other bees from trying to rob the farm. So be careful, but do it as fast as you can. Get in, find brood, find larvae, see how much food stores you got, and get out, get it covered. If you set a box off, make sure it's covered. It's still too hot right now. It's in the 80s already, and here it is the first week of October. But that'll change pretty quickly. So just be prepared, and let's move on with the inspections. Okay, I didn't record any of the west side, but that's okay. It was pretty routine. Found food, found lots of larvae, lots of capped brood. They're all doing real well. Killed a few hive beetles. Made sure that my sweeper sheets were ready to go. I do need to get some more. I've got a couple hives that don't have any now. But in the next couple of weeks, I'll start feeding 1-to-1 sugar water so I can keep the brood going, keep the queen active. A lot of times in the winter here, we don't get sub-freezing weather a lot. Some winters we get real bad, but we never know. So we prepare. I want to get a bunch of sugar water on them. My hive treatment, my mite treatments have gone real well. I only have one that I need to retest. The rest were all 1s and 2s. So I'm good, except for the one that was an 8. I want to test it again. Temperatures are in the range. I'll continue to use HopGuard. I might get a friend to come over and do an OA shot just for good measure. But don't forget to make comments as the videos go on. I like to hear from you, so I know what your questions are. If you got something you'd like for me to video, then leave comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share the info with your friends. Let them know that I'm here in northeast Arkansas, and my first year is done. I overwintered 3 hives last winter, so I'm pretty confident in what I've done in the past will work again this year. So stay around, watch some of my other videos. I'll put a link up to my series on how to start. It's always a good place if you don't know where to start. I'm going to be putting out a new video this week on, hopefully this week, on bee suits. It's pretty important. All the other tools and equipment I've covered pretty well, but we need to cover bee suits. And then you should be ready to go. We've already gone over what hardware to buy. Haven't covered where to buy your bees. The best place is from somebody local to you that has nukes in the spring. Sometimes you need to get into the bee club now. Get into a bee club. Get in touch with people that are going to be producing nukes. Get your name on a waiting list. Get your hives ready before February. You may not get bees until May. It just depends a lot on the weather. But you don't necessarily want to order online. Your best bet is to buy them locally. Buy nukes locally. I hope to be doing that in another year or so. We'll see how I survive in the spring. I've got boxes ready. I may sell a couple of nukes, but right now you need to get in a bee club, get with other beekeepers, be prepared, get online, watch how-to videos, beginner videos, be prepared. If you're going into winter with bees now, make sure they got food, make sure you're prepared to feed them, and make sure there's holes in the sides are covered up. But like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next video. Y'all have a great day.